Hello, lighthearted rainbow tribe. Let us join together in the radiance of our being, for the silence and the stillness to pervade us and bring us home. I want to share a Sufi story today. There was a man who was imprisoned, and his spiritual leader, his imam, came to visit him to bring him a key for his freedom. And the imam showed up at the prison with a prayer rug. And the prisoner took the prayer rug, and the two of them prayed. And then the imam left and said, "I have given you the key to your freedom." And so the prisoner searched the rug in the hopes that there was a file or something that would unlock the door to his prison in there and he could make his escape. But none could be found. And so he just began to use his prayer rug faithfully, 5 times a day. He would roll out his prayer rug and get down on his knees, and he would do the formation of prayer. And he did not know, he did not understand how this was going to set him free. But he trusted his imam, and so 5 times a day, faithfully, he got down on his knees and he prayed to Allah for freedom. Well, the days went on, and he grew very familiar with his prayer rug. He thought that perhaps there was a key inside the designs and the words that were there. And he kept finding himself not finding answers that he sought. And so he continued his praying faithfully 5 times a day. And in not knowing how this was going to set him free, he would get really quiet, and he went through quite a bit. There are times when he would weep and cry and beg and feel so disconnected and apart and alone in his little cell. And there were other times when he began to feel a connection, a sense of presence with him. And as that continued, he began to look more forward to the times when he would get down on his prayer rug and pray for freedom. Frequently, there was no answer. But he began to learn that that wasn't what he was really looking for. He was looking for the connection. And in that connection, he began to see the error of his ways. He began to increasingly see the error of his ways and what it was that landed him in jail. And he sincerely repented, asked for forgiveness, gave thanks for being shown the error of his ways, and prayed for the liberation so that he would never do those things again. And he continued on in this manner and began to see that his being in jail was actually the outpicturing or the manifestation, the reality that came to him as a result of his own self-condemnation. That even though he thought he might be getting away with things and trying to get what he needed from the things that he did, he began to realize that inside himself he knew it wasn't right. And he began to see levels and layers of his consciousness that believed he was undeserving of anything good. And he began to see that as much as he believed that, it was something that he learned. So one of the things that happened in that first visit with the Imam is that he said, "Imam, I am innocent. I am innocent." And the Imam said, "Of course you're innocent. We're all innocent." And of course he believed himself guilty, but he began to discover his innocence. And as he began to discover what was within him that was innocent, he began to discover his freedom from the beliefs that he held to be true. And he began to feel joyous. And the jailer would notice that when he came to bring him food or take him for his walk out in the yard, that he was greeted with a smile, and frequently with a bow with the hands clasped together. And the prisoner would always say thank you or bless you for whatever it was that the jailer did for him. And even though they didn't really talk, because this was a condemned person, and the jailer didn't really associate with condemned people, other than to do what his job gave him to do, he began to really appreciate the lightness of step that he saw on the walks, and the lightness in the eyes, and the politeness and kindness extended to him. And so the praying continued. The prisoner loved these times when he could stop everything and just get down on his knees and bow on his prayer rug and ask Allah to set him free. And one day, his consciousness opened, and he saw out into the cosmos. And he recognized that it was his own consciousness that was the cosmos. And he began to laugh, because he saw he was not at all this person on his knees in the jail, in the cell of limit, limitation and imprisonment. And he began to laugh at the absurdity of it all. And the jailer looked into on him, wondering, is he going crazy? Has he been too long in jail now? And what he found in the days after that is that this laughter would just arise in the prisoner, and for no cause whatsoever. They were just walking along in the yard, or he was just sitting in his jail cell. And what the prisoner recognized is that it no longer mattered whether he was kneeling down on his prayer rug, or up and walking around, or sitting, or sleeping, or eating. He was always on his knees, and always in connection and contact. And he was always free. And so he went about his day lightheartedly, just with ease, just meeting what arose. And one day the jailer came and unlocked the cell and looked at the prisoner and said, "You are free to go." And the prisoner said, "Yes, I know. It has always been so. And you are free now too. Thank you and bless you." I don't think anything else needs to be said. May we all be free from our imprisonment in the limitations of our conditioned, identified minds. May we live in truth and peace and harmony, in the recognition of who and what is actually here, already, wherever we are, whatever the circumstances are. May we all be free in unity. Blessings and gratitude.